Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to talk about a supplement which is a cortisol blocker that I think could be very beneficial. Now, it's not necessarily this specific product, but just the active ingredient that I want to talk about and how it can be beneficial for losing fat, gaining muscle, improving your sleep, managing your stress, everything like that. So before I get into it, I just want to say that obviously I'm not a doctor, guys. You're going to have to figure this stuff out for yourself, whether you go that medical route or if you try and do a supplement. You're going to have to figure out what type of dosages you're going to do, how you're going to cycle on or off something like this. But I'm talking about this cortisol blocker from Chemix. Now, Gorilla Mind also came out with their own cortisol blocker, which is basically this product except some added things as well, ashwagandha being one of them. So I can't say that I've tried the Gorilla Mind one because it has been sold out, but I have been using this one on and off. And I just kind of want to talk about my experiences with it and how it can really be beneficial for people if they kind of keep it around as something that they use, when necessary. Because obviously cortisol is something that you need, and it is it has its role in the body. And while we may want to lower it at certain times, it's not something that we want to have depressed all the time. And so I just kind of want to talk about some of the methods and some of the benefits that I've had from using this and how you can kind of implement it into your life. So first, in terms of some of the benefits, obviously people are going to, gain weight or have an ability to not gain muscle in the same way, or it's just going to hinder their ability to gain muscle essentially. So cortisol is kind of like the troll of the body in terms of, like, let's say you're trying to raise your testosterone to, improve muscle building ability, lower fat storage, stuff like that. Cortisol, if it's getting too high, if you're getting too stressed out, you can start to build fat in certain areas. It can diminish, muscle gains, or it can start to eat away at that muscle. And it's just really kind of something that we don't want to be too high. Now, again, it is something that we do need in our body, but we don't want it to kind of overtake the good things that are going on. And that's kind of where we bring this in if we do need it. It's also extremely effective. And this is kind of the main thing that I want to talk about, is its ability to impact your sleep. So, I'm somebody who goes to bed around 3 a.m. I work a night job, and while I'm currently not doing that, I've kind of established this anti-circadian rhythm that, a lot of people just are not associated with. And this kind of affects my sleep. Obviously, certain things are going to happen in the day, and it really is not something that changes all that much. But when I've been on this product, I've been on and off this, and it just makes me tired. Obviously, that could be seen as a bad thing, but the ability to get to bed early, the ability to have really restful sleep, and to just kind of, rest and recover and not be so stressed out, so, wired. And even though I don't really consider myself a very stressed person, I found that this is extremely effective for that in terms of getting to sleep, staying to sleep, and just managing my stress levels overall. So obviously that's something that is probably going to be the main aspect of it, is just the stress situations that come about when your cortisol levels are too high. But you have that muscle building ability, diminishing fat storages, and the ability to improve sleep. So just all that good stuff. And again, it's not something where you're going to want to take this 2 months in a row or whatever. It's something that you're going to want to cycle. And what I've found to be effective is just, if you find yourself in a situation that is, a little bit more stressful, maybe you're, I don't know if I'd use it in like finals week or something like that, but maybe if you just came off of that, obviously you do need a certain level of cortisol to be able to carry yourself through those things. But when you find yourself in a stressful situation, it might be something that you want to implement. Or if you come off of a stressful situation where your cortisol levels are a little bit too high, whether that be mental or physical stress, that could really be a situation where it would be beneficial. So for me, like the way that I've been using it recently, and I've used it in the past, but recently I have been on a deload over the past 5 days, and I was lifting twice a day. I was accumulating a lot of stress, and that, being physical stress, the mental stress wasn't really there. And I found that this was really able to improve my sleep, my recovery. It makes me not feel like I have to get after it and go to the gym. Sometimes when you need to take those breaks, that can be detrimental to your ability to recover. So it's been beneficial there, and it's just something that I find, you can kind of have this around, and it's not something that you use all the time, but in certain situations where you do feel a need to use it, it can be very beneficial. Now, obviously this product is, basically just the bare bones of, the cortisol blocker from Gorilla Mind, which, those added ingredients could have extra benefits, but I'm sure, that product is even better than this one, if not the same. And, I recommend them both if they're obviously going to have that same effect, having that same active ingredient. Now, one thing I do want to mention, that active ingredient is emodin, however you say it. And it can upset your stomach and have you running to the bathroom a lot. And this is something where, when I take supplements, I'm usually like, okay, I got to have a big dose. It's usually how I am. I'm a big guy. So I went ahead and did the maximum dose on this one, and it had me running to the bathroom all day. It was really not a good situation. And I found that I needed a much smaller dose. So this is something, if you have 120 capsules, it's going to last you quite a long time. Assuming that you need a similar dose as me. And I really found that, even 1 to 2 capsules is an extremely effective dose in being able to kind of improve your sleep and lower those stress levels and stuff like that. So something to keep in mind. I didn't see that as a, warning when I bought this product. I did see Derek mention it on one of his videos towards the end, but it could be something that you miss. And maybe if you, try and take too much at once, you're going to be wondering what's going on. So, that's the only side effect that I've noticed. But again, it is something where you don't want to, lower your cortisol for too long, but it's something to keep around when you need it. And I think the ability to kind of improve muscle gain, that fat loss benefit as well, the sleep, the stress levels, it can kind of be this Swiss Army knife type of supplement. And it's something where, it is a little bit more expensive, but it's something that can last quite a long time if you're using a smaller dosage, which is what I would recommend, as well as just kind of not obviously taking it all the time, because that's not something that we want to do. So I think it's a very great product, something that, you should at least consider. And obviously, you're going to have to manage your situation. I'm not recommending that you take this despite any situation that you have. Obviously, if you're somebody who talks to your doctor or whatever else, you're going to have to do that. But for me, I found it to be very effective. And I just think it's something where I've never heard of it, honestly, until, a few months ago. I didn't even know what it was. So the fact that I'm starting to see these products, on the market, and they're just not really marketed in the same way as a lot of these other ones are, I think it's going to be very beneficial to kind of be able to help with your stress, your sleep, and just bodybuilding in general. And just when you need it, it's going to be something that you're going to be happy that you do have around. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I will keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.